our Houston Texans insider, former Texans and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. Jay, good morning and welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
Good morning, my compadres. How you guys doing today?
We're doing well.
Great.
We want to give you a little Scarface, man, to give you that Houston Texans flavor.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I'm a big Scarface fan, so I appreciate it.
Hey, man, no doubt. Looking at the draft day for the Houston Texans, and they also have an outside linebacker from Nebraska that they signed in free agency, Jason Ankara. I remember him. But let's talk. The number 1 overall pick, Clowney and J.J. SWAT, coming from both sides of that defensive line. Is that hellified or what?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good combination for the next 4 or 5 years. I think those two. I think if J.J. Watt wasn't on the team, I think the Houston Texans might not have drafted Clowney or tried to get out of that number 1 pick. I think that they're banking on and assuming that J.J. Watt's going to have a tremendous influence in a positive way on J. Devine Clowney, and I think it's going to work out both, and I think it's going to pay huge dividends right away. And then also it shows you the direction that the team is going, and they're getting big, physical, fast football players. For the first 4 picks that they had, they got the best player at every single position. So I think it was a really good draft. It's a little bit under the radar after you take Clowney out of the draft. It's not a real sexy draft, but I think it all is going to pay dividends right away.
Absolutely. And, Jay, tell us, because you played linebacker for these Houston Texans and in the NFL, when you have a defensive line that can occupy a lot of offensive linemen in the scheme, basically it's you versus me. It's running back versus linebacker. And, pretty much it turns into, what I call group work, where you're just doing angle tackle and you're just running and tackling the running back, and it's an easier game. I mean, look when Ray Lewis, he always played great every year when he was in the NFL, but when you think about when he was at his dominant point in his career, who did they have? Sam Adams and Tony Siragusa, and then obviously Burnett, and then McCrary at the defensive end, and they just were occupying 5 offensive linemen and a tight end, and him and Jamie Sharper when he was there were just running and just killing the running back. So I think it's crucial for every single linebacker, but then also it's crucial for Brian Cushing to have the best defensive line that they can obviously put out there on the field. But then it's also whoever they have lined up next to them for them to have instant success, and for every level of defense to be successful. It's going to start out front with the defensive lineman. It's going to obviously center around Clowney and J.J. Watt. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with taking the pressure off this offense for the Texans. They've been carried by Andre Johnson and Arian Foster for so long that it would be nice for them to know on the offensive side of the ball that they can bring in some folks that can work. I know Andre Johnson a little frustrated. He's been in the league 10 years, and he would like to see some success in the playoffs. But I think maybe this draft and Coach O'Brien may be sitting down with him and Rick Smith and the rest of the group down in Houston saying, look, we brought in a defense that we can free this offense of the Houston Texans up and get us into competition for the playoffs quickly.
Yeah, I think it's, with the talent on that roster, I don't think it's a rebuilding process. I think it's more a revamp and change the things around. It's obviously, if you read any of the articles and obviously you watch Coach O'Brien and in his interviews, there's definitely a different vibe going around the stadium and the practice facility. But the good thing about it is that the guys that they've drafted and the offensive system that he's going to implement, I think the success is going to be sooner than later, because obviously Arian Foster, barring that he's healthy, he's going to have to crank up, his running game skills, and he's going to have to lead the team more than he had before. Because he doesn't have Ben Tate behind him, so he's going to have to be a true bell cow. So it's going to be a testing for him. Is he going to be in the program long term or not? And can he do it? And then obviously, the Ryan Fitzpatrick most likely will be starting the season off as starting quarterback. But Tom Savage has everything that you want in a quarterback, and everything that they have, and all the other quarterbacks that were drafted before him. He just was out of football for a couple of years, and he just needs to keep developing his skills. And who better than to do it is a guy that helped Tom Brady and guys like Matt Castle develop into, Tom Brady Hall of Fame quarterback, and then obviously Matt Castle. He brought him along without even Matt Castle having any college experience. So I think that sets the bar pretty high for Savage as well.
Speaks volumes. Talking with Jay Foreman, former NFL and Texans linebacker. Jay, you got to come down. You got to come down to Texas. Let's get down to Houston. Let's see your former team. Get some footage. See if you could cover me out that backfield still. See if you're going to try to hold me up, probably rip my clothes a little bit, probably push me down on the AstroTurf if you can. But, let's have some fun, man. Hey, Jay Foreman and I are alums. We love each other, but I tell you what, linebackers, they ain't nice people. At least within the 120 yards that they're giving, 53 yards wide. They're not nice, Chico. You do that football with the legs. We do.
It's just funny, though.
The pads.
But he couldn't see the expression on your face, though, because he was serious.
Jay Foreman's serious. Jay Foreman got paid checks from the NFL, and that's not for long if you let people like me run by you.
I'm definitely trying to jam you up at the line. I'm trying to end that pass route ASAP.
Hey, please let me know when this is happening, because that's going to be good.
Hey, we get Blake as the quarterback.
Yeah, we got Blake as the quarterback.
Everybody, tried and true. No, I just want to see you down here. I'd love to go by. The Texans is great organization. Jamie Roots, Rick Smith, and a lot of different folks have been very good. Susie Thomas as their general counsel. A lot of folks have been very good to me over the years in the Houston Texans organization. They're a lot of fun. I wish them well. Want all the Texas teams do well. Just have Jay back in the great state of Texas, kicking around. Then we'll go play some golf, and then it'll probably be even more competition. But a heck of a franchise down in Southeast Texas. And I just want to see my fellow alum and former Houston Texan get down, sign some autographs, have some fun, maybe do a couple camps down here with us too, Jay.
Yeah, man, that sounds good, man. We're going to have to make it happen.
Okay, fair enough. Well, listen, we appreciate the insight and, always welcome. We appreciate you being our Houston Texans insider, the things that you share from your experiences. And don't forget his dad, one of the best NFL running backs of all time, the great Chuck Foreman from the Minnesota Vikings. Jay, appreciate your time today on Laying Down the Law.
All right, man. You guys have a good weekend.
All right.
Take
there
care.
It is. Jay Foreman, our Houston Texans insider. Shout-outs coming next.
Next.
Up.
Shout-out.
Yeah. Can't thank – man, I know it's hour number 2, but can't thank the guest enough for what they do and what they share to us and the listeners.
It's valuable.
Yeah. And it's real, and it's not something that's just observed. These guys have been tackling people and in the trenches and throwing touchdown passes, and it makes a difference. And that's what we want to bring to you each and every week. The folks that do it, the folks that are doing it. And when we get back, we're going to do those shout-outs. So stay with us right here on Laying Down the Law.